Jabala Upanishad Om. That, Brahman, is infinite, and this, universe, is infinite. The infinite proceeds from the infinite. Then, taking the infinitude of the infinite, universe, it remains as the infinite, Brahman, alone. Om. Let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Brihaspati, the preceptor of the gods, asked, the sage, Yajnavalkya, which is, the Kurukshetra, the famous holy place that destroys sins and protects the good, the place, where the gods perform sacrifices and which is the abode of Brahman in all beings. Yajnavalkya replied, Avimata is the Kurukshetra, the place, where the gods perform sacrifices to deities and which is the abode of Brahman in all beings. Hence wherever one goes one shall think thus, this is the Kurukshetra, the place where the gods perform sacrifices to the deities and which is the abode of Brahman in all beings. This is the spot where, when the vital airs depart from the living person, Rudra imparts the mantra, Tarka Brahman, to him by which, becoming immortal, he attains liberation, final beatitude. Hence one shall resort to the Avimata, shall not desert the Avimata. Brihaspati approved of the statement saying, so it is, Yajnavalkya, verily it is so, O revered one. It is so, Yajnavalkya. Thereafter the sage Atrai, son of the creator Brahma, asked of Yajnavalkya, how am I to realize the self which is infinite and unmanifest? To this, Yajnavalkya replied, that Avimata, Lord Shiva as the Redeemer, is to be worshipped, the self which is infinite and unmanifest, is established in the Avimata, in Ishvara, possessed of attributes. Which is that place, where Avimata is established. He is established in between Varuna and Nasai. What is meant by Varuna and what by Nasai? The Varuna is so called as it wards off all the faults committed by the 10 organs of perception and action. The Nasai is so named as it destroys all sins committed by the 10 organs. The place between the Varuna and the Nasai is the meeting place of the upper part of the nose and the center of the eyebrows. Which is the seat of that, Avimata. That, which is the, well-known, juncture of the eyebrows and the nose, is the juncture of heaven, in the form of the crown of the head, and this world, in the form at the end of the chin. The knowers of the Veda worship indeed this juncture, Samadhi, as Sandhya, in their daily worship. That Avimata is to be worshipped. He who knows this thus, the true nature of the Avimata, imparts the wisdom of the Avimata, that the individual self is no other than the attributeless Brahman, to his disciples. Then the disciplined students, Brahmacarans of Yajnavalkya, asked him, pray, tell us, what is that mantra by reciting which one attains immortality? He replied, by reciting Satarudra Ya. These mantras are indeed the names of Rudra to achieve immortality. By reciting these mantras, one becomes immortal. Then Janaka, the king of the Videhas, respectfully approached Yajnavalkya and requested him, revered sir, expound to me the tenets of renunciation, sannyasa. He, Yajnavalkya, then replied, after completing the period of disciplined studentship, Brahmacharya, one may become a householder. After being a householder he may become a forest dweller. Having become a vanaprastha he may renounce the world, and thus become a mendicant monk. Or, alternately, he may embrace renunciation from Brahmacharya itself, or from the stage of a householder, or from the forest life of a vanaprastha. It can also be that a person may renounce worldly life that very day on which distaste for it dawns on him, whether he is one not observing the vows before the stage of renunciation, or observe them, whether he has undergone the prescribed ablution on completing the disciplined studentship or not, whether he is one who has discontinued maintaining the sacred fire at the death of his wife, Utsanani, or is one who does not maintain, for other causes, the sacred fire, Anagnika. Some lawgivers prescribe the sacrifice called Prajapatiya, of which the god Brahma is the presiding deity, to a twice born before he embraces renunciation. But, though thus laid down, he may not do so. He shall only perform the sacrifice in which Agni is the deity. For Agni is the vital breath, prana. Thereby he does strengthen the vital breath. He shall then perform the Tradhataviya sacrifice. For the three forms of Agni in him, namely, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are strengthened by this sacrifice. Having performed the sacrifice, he shall smell the smoke of the holy fire, reciting the following mantra: O fire, this vital breath is your source. As you are born from Sutratman, at the proper time you shine forth. Knowing him, the Atman, your ultimate source, may you merge in him. May you increase our wealth, hear the transcendent knowledge. Verily, this is the source of fire, namely the vital air. So what is said by this mantra is, may you go unto your source. Svaha. Having procured the holy fire from the house of a well-versed Vedic scholar in the village, he shall smell the holy dyer as described previously. If he is unable to procure the holy fire, he shall offer the oblations in water. For water is, verily, all the gods. Reciting I offer the oblation to all the gods, Svaha, he shall tender the oblation, and picking up a small portion of the offered oblation which is mixed with ghee, he shall eat it, as this is beneficial. The mantra of liberation, namely Om, is the essence of the three Vedas. This he shall realize. It is Brahman and it is to be worshipped. Indeed, so it is, O revered Yajnavalkya, said Janaka. Then the sage Atri asked Yajnavalkya, may I ask you, Yajnavalkya, how is one without the sacred thread of Brahmana? Yajnavalkya replied, the conviction I am the self alone is his sacred thread. He shall then sip water, ceremoniously thrice. This is the method enjoined on those who renounce worldly life. In the case of Kshatriyas and others not entitled to renunciation, they may seek liberation in the path of the brave, who court death in the battlefield, or fast unto death as a discipline, or enter into water, to rise no more, or enter fire, to be burnt to ashes, or undertake the great journey, in which they collapse by exhaustion. Then, in the case of those entitled to renunciation, the mendicant monk wearing ochre colored garment, with shaven head, accepting nothing, accepting food for bare sustenance, being pure, injuring none, in thought, word, and deed, austerity, living on alms, becomes fit for realizing Brahman. If sorely afflicted by disease, etc., he may renounce the world by mental resolve, or by spoken words uttering mantras. This way of renunciation has been prescribed by Brahma, the Creator, in the Vedanta. The ascetic, the sannyasin who has renounced the world, following this path realizes Brahman. Thus indeed it is, O revered Yajnavalkya, appreciated Janaka. There are sages called Paramahamsas, as in the days of yore, the sages, Samvartaka, Aruni, Svetakatu, Durvasas, Rabu, Nidaga, Yadabharata, Dattatreya, Ravataka, and others, wearing no distinguishing marks, with conduct beyond the ken of worldly people, and who behaved as though bereft of their senses though perfectly sane. Discarding all these, namely the threefold staff of bamboo, the water pot, the sling, to carry personal effects, the alms bowl, the cloth for purifying water, tied to the staff, tuft of hair and sacred thread in water, by reciting Bhusvaha, the Paramahamsa shall seek the Atman. Possessing a form as one just born, unaffected by the pairs of opposites, such as heat and cold, pleasure and pain, accepting nothing, except bare sustenance, well established in the path of the truth of Brahman, of pure mind, receiving alms into the mouth, literally into the vessel of the belly, at the prescribed hour in order to sustain life, becoming equanimous at gain or loss of alms, sheltering himself, without an abode of his own, in an unoccupied house, a temple, a clump of tall grass, or a heap of straw, an anthill, the shade of a tree, a potter's hut, a cottage where sacred fire is kept, sandy bank of a river, a mountain thicket or cavity, a hollow in a tree, the vicinity of a waterfall or a piece of clean ground, making no efforts, in any kind of gainful activity, free from mindness, ever meditating on Brahman, devoted to the self, ever intent on eradication of the good and bad karman, the sage, finally gives up his body in the state of renunciation. Such a sage is indeed a Paramahamsa. Thus ends the Upanishad. Om. That Brahman is infinite, and this universe is infinite. The infinite proceeds from the infinite. Then, taking the infinitude of the infinite universe, it remains as the infinite Brahman alone. Om. Let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me.